All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Harakakadash, the life, and who rule and taught us all this truth, and also sent salutations to you, Archon, on folk on earth, the hopeful elected house of David, preaching this word. This lesson that we're going into is going to be We Shall Rejoice at Thy Ruin. As Esau has rejoiced over the fall of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans from 1492 up to this present day, they have not once had any type of mercy upon our people, nor have they given us our homeland back. They have not given us our culture back. Nor did they really have attention to until Yahweh Shai comes back down on them chariots and forces these heathens to submit. So so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man shouldn't be rejoicing in this present day era with your enemy. We're expecting some kind of what's the word they call it? Uh, Not recompense, reconciliation, I believe. All right.
Mm.
Um, so let me get the script real quick. This is Jeremiah. And before I bring this up, because ultimately it's Yahweh Shai that's gonna give us all the things that we need. We don't need to go to Esau to get some kind of redemption. Okay, this is all part of the plans of Yahweh Shai. And if you understand how order works, right, only one kingdom rules at a time. That's how it's always been, and that's how it is. Okay, this is Jeremiah 35, Salakia, not Jeremiah, Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 35 and start at 10. It says, because thou hast said these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and and we will possess it, whereas Yahweh Shemeshai was there. Therefore, and what was that? All right, the Israelites, which was the South Kingdom, which Rehoboam ruled, and the North Kingdom, which Jeroboam ruled, and they enslaved these two nations, okay, which is the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man, and they possessed us, right? It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Abba Shemeshai power, I will even do according to thy anger and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Shai, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume, right? Because just because Yahweh Shai gave us into your hands, you believe that we're going to be in your hands forever. You're really thinking that Yahweh Shai is allowing you to consume us and to keep us at a low state forever, which is not according to prophecy. Okay, we were given to your hands for what it says for times, and dividing of times, right? It didn't say forever, but you guys have taken it to the next level where you guys are trying to keep us as slaves eternally, right? I'm gonna keep reading. It says, thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. And you've done this in numerous ways. You've done this through your laws and decrees. You've done this through your social media. Okay, you've done this with all your religions on the four corners of the earth. Um, Theories, your experiments. All these things are you boasting your words because everything that you manifest through your thought, all right, that's against this truth is actually of your word, which you're gonna be judged by, right? Um, it says, thus saith Yahweh Shemeshai, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. And that's what's happening. The whole world is rejoicing at the decline of you Edomites. Your guys' back is against the wall, and this isn't a thing of a carnal war. We're just happy to see the manifestation of Yahweh Shemeshai's words coming true. The next stage is really looking for deliverance. All right, and that's really where the rejoicing comes in. The world rejoices at the Christianity doctrine of we're all going to be saved, and we've all are saved through the blood of Christ. But then on the other hand, they rejoice at the wickedness that goes on in this place. Okay, um, they're proud to introduce transgenders, and soon you're gonna have a generation that's gonna be proud to mess with pedophiles, man. Right? This is the world that we're coming into. But yeah, Abba Shemishra said, we shall rejoice at thy fall, man. Okay. Um, this is as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. So will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, so the reverse scenarios are gonna happen because it also says in Psalms 137 and 7, you shall bash your children against the stones. You guys were feeding your kids the crocodiles. You guys were using our kids as animal bait. You know, you have a precept art. So okay.
Kind of got First Maccabees 2 and 7 as it pertains to today as well. It says, he said, "Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers? Her temple is become as a man without glory." Now, this is speaking about back in the ancient world when the Greeks took over the Israelites, right? But it's twofold. It's spiritual because we are the temple, as pertaining to 1 Corinthians 3:16. Paul said, "Ye are the temple of the Most High." So we as a nation are without glory. But who took that glory? It's these other nations, man. They robbed us, they spoiled us, and they indoctrinated us into their ways. You know, you ask how a nation can be taken, it's easy, man. You just take out the men, you know, kill the men, and then you have the women, you pop them, and the children that are left over, you just indoctrinate them, man. You make them slaves,
That's right.
and that's what these other nations did in every way of a nation, you know, or every way which a nation operates. It says, verse 8 or verse 9, her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. You know, our young Jakes, man, they're slain in the streets and they're slain through their own ignorance, but it's Esau indoctrinating them and influencing.
Hey, Shalom, Mark Yabashi Misha. Hashem Harakar
Hey, Shalom, y'all bashim, y'all shy bashim, Kwakadash, Praktham.
Shalom. Continue.
It
Continue.
says, verse 10, it says, "What nation has not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?"
Yeah. So basically, every kingdom has taken their each portion out of Israel. All right. There's not one nation underneath the heavens that have not had Israel in slavery, have not taken the treasures, have not influenced Israel to go off in some type of way. All right. Though you have the head serpent, which is Esau, and he gives direction to these other nations, right? Yeah, gives other command nations to these other nations to control us. Oh, good. Shalom, Maki, Abashim, Shabbat, Bashar, Kadash. Right? So now, is there judgment for all these other nations? Of course there is. Esau's not the only nation that's going to be going into slavery and have to reap of the judgment. All these individual nations as well: Moab, Ammon, Japhet, Mizraim, all these Ishmael, Elam, they're gonna taste of it too. All right, so don't think that, oh, okay, I'm glad that I'm not an Edomite. I don't need to go into slavery. No, you guys have to go into slavery as well. It's just you guys won't have to uh get the hard ends of it as Esau would. You know.
That's right. Y'all brought out that Jeremiah 30?
You can go ahead.
Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You know, and all the saying is what Doc was saying is that every single one of them, man. You got all these people trying to duck out, and even when it comes to the end judgment, for that Zechariah 13 and 8, you know what I'm saying? These 2/3 that have been oppressing us, these preachers that have been feeding off the people, man. All right. Even some of these people that call themselves Israelites, but they denying the northern kingdom or denying the confusion of faces, you know what I mean? They all been oppressing our people, man. And the Lord got something for each and every one of them. And like the ox said, Esau got the greatest coming, you know, but it's a lot of damage been done, and the Lord gonna restore all things.
Yeah, it's what does it say that the whole head is sick? You know, because what we being so far gone, so tarnished, so defiled through heathen customs that they don't even see themselves as the people of the Lord anymore. You know, it's of Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know, also Jeremiah, I believe it's 4:22. Let me bring that out actually. In
Okay.
Jeremiah,
Okay.
this is Jeremiah 4:22. All right, it says, "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are Sodom's children." It says, "And they have none understanding." And what understanding is? They don't have the understanding of their power. They don't understand. They don't have no understanding of their current situation. They don't even understand who's in rulership and who's kicking their ass. You know,
Okay.
this is a very serious thing because if you don't understand all these things, you're liable to sink into anything that comes your way, which goes back to those winds. You know, be carried away roundabout, man, through the wind. Roughly paraphrasing says, "They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge." And just look at Jakes in the world. Does any Jake in the world teach our people how to be righteous at all? To not, to not do the various things that you see? No, an artist, what is his name? Like Triple X, whatever. This man just got shot, man, robbed and shot, straight up. And he was so-called spreading positivity, but guess what? He wasn't spreading the words of Yahweh Shemir Shai, man, and he still got jacked. All right, that comes to show you that even though that he might speak these nice smooth words, he had none understanding. Because he had true understanding, he would have stopped tattooing himself like he did. He wouldn't have sold out. All right, and he would have been teaching people how to actually fear Yahweh Shemeshai instead of saying you do whatever you want, you do whatever. And he called it on himself. He said if anything were to ever happen to me, or if I get sacrificed, which I took him was a key note of what he said. If I ever get sacrificed, I want people to be able to take my words in as value, and to pretty much roughly paraphrasing, live their dream or whatever. Now, is that what Yahweh Shemeshai wants? No. He wants us to get right. He wants us to step away from what we're doing. All right. So it doesn't matter how smooth someone says anything, and Israel needs to acknowledge this. All right. And whenever precept,
I got Baruch 4.
gone.
This is Baruch 4:24. It says, "Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting."
Let me break that
Um,
down.
yeah, Khan, basically, it's what the brothers going into, man, about all these nations. Who are the neighbors of Zion? If you look at the ancient map of Israel, you have
Yeah, I
all the
got a
nations
point.
around it. You got Moab, you got Ammon, Edom, the Hamites, the Ishmaelites. All these nations are neighbors, right? So they all seen our captivity and been a part of it, you know. So now we're going to see our salvation, man. You had a
Yes, sir.
precept up?
I'll get a precept.
Yeah, can you hear me? Because I'm in a messed up area.
Yeah, Khan, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back because you said God was supposed to be preaching a positive message, but yet the Lord still took him out. But this is Sirach 20:9. There is a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to lust. There is a gift that shall not profit thee, and there is a gift whose recompense is double.
No, that's beautiful, man. That's
Mhm.
beautiful. And that was really his example because he was really doing that. He spoke as if he knew so much things, and like he was on one. There's even quotes that I saw that everyone's saying, "Oh, he was such a young kid and he already knew what it was and very wise." All that, bro. He was still teaching you to be lustful and to dive in all these wicked acts, you know, and that should really scare a lot of these jakes that are up on high, on a high horse because that shows you that you're not safe even with your riches. Look how much money he had. Now what? What does that mean
God,
now? Someone's gonna repossess that BMW he died in. All right, someone's gonna wash it out, clean it out, use it for parts, or give it to somebody else. His he probably never signed a will. All that concert money or it's gone to the label. Everything he's ever owned, right? So
God.
now what? What's left now? Just reruns of his shows. And
Yeah,
what did he do? He didn't even turn one righteous. He didn't turn one person to righteousness or try to, man.
right.
Now we're gonna have at least a day or 2 days of people mourning this guy for no reason. You know? Anyone have a precept?
Yeah.
I have. I had one here. Um. So yeah, I had one going into the salvation, backing up the other brother. This Jeremiah 16:14 says, "Therefore, behold, the days come, that that it shall no more be said, Yahweh Bashem shall liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers." And that's really what we're coming up to salvation, because everybody's been talking about us getting out of Egypt, but now it's time to talk about us getting out of the modern day Egypt, which is America. Really only the elect is really gonna care about what's going on right now and really want to get out, right? Because right now we're not mourning on anyone dying. We're just mourning on the fact that we have to live here and be around all these people doing all this crazy ass ish, man. You know, I seen see Jake. I see these two Jakes. I don't know if you Akim seen it. They're promoting about how the Jake woman was now a man and the man was now a woman, but she gave birth. And then they were talking about how powerful it is for this man to have a baby and his woman be by his side, and they're just two different genders. This is the shit that makes us sick, man. And the world feeds off of this kind of crap, man. And
But
who's
it's just
responsible?
Esau trying to be like the Most High, man.
That's
Esau's
right.
trying to be like the Most High, trying to create genders and trying to make clones and all this bullshit, man.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's disgusting. And disgusting.
and he's
And
deceiving a lot of people, right? Because it says in Revelations he shall cause miracles. You
yeah,
know,
and it's crazy because it really is a miracle in itself. If you consider it 50 years ago, you never even heard of that. Even when I was growing up, I never heard of no transgender nothing. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even in your speech. That wasn't even in. Hey, that shows you that a thought is deadly because that wasn't even in your thoughts. You know. Hey, let me get this because you said that, brother. Second Thessalonians 2, and I'll start at 10. No, I'll start at 9. It says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all this deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yahweh shall strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." And this is quickly becoming a whole wide world acceptance because they're falling for that delusion. The AI technology, the transgender.
mm-hmm.
Hey, what did one of the audience posted in the group chat where it said that straight people need to stop complaining about Pride Month. This is what the world is turning into, man. These proud people who used to be scared to come out of the closet are now telling straight people to shut the hell up, man. That's great wickedness, man.
Time,
You know,
time.
because
And he said, there ain't no love in it, man. They ain't got no, no desire to follow the Father.
right,
They hear these things, they see these things, and they straight up reject them. The Ox said that Esau was trying to be like the Most High, but his deficiency is that he can't create. like Yahweh Shah created on behalf of Yahweh, you know?
That's right.
And so he takes what is already created and he tries to twist it, man. You know, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I was in the Bay Area in the 80s, man. And I remember the RuPaul and, you know, everybody know that San Francisco was one of these alleged, you know, hearts of wickedness, but I'm down here by Hollywood. I know they worse. But the bottom line being is that, man, seeing it propagated, like I said, it was unseen to him, you know, but and I saw it come from a little grain, man, you know, and how this shit spread like a disease, man, you know.
Con.
And Salakia, I had a precept here. It's Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 12. And he says, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel. Okay. And the Lord said, proclaim these words toward the north, man, because most of us are in captivity. All right. Under in America, in Europe and things of that nature, man. And that's where the main deliverance is coming from. Not discounting our brothers just at the four corners, but saying that was the prophecy that was given was that no longer, like I was saying, would they be talking about us coming out of Egypt, but coming out of the lands of the north. All right. And that's talking about this current Edomite rulership. When he said that he would rule the congregation from the sides of the north, is talking about Russia, Europe, and America. You know what I mean? And so he said, proclaim these words toward this place, man. Return now, backsliding Israel, man. All right. Because while you didn't see that stuff back in the day, man, nowadays, you know, the worst that you see, the very worst that you see, aside from a few select Edomites and they gay parades, when you see Jake go with that transvestite shit, that hot inhumanity, man, when they get on their adulterers, they take it to that next level, man. You know?
Con.
And he said if we return, you know, that he will not cause his anger to fall upon us. Because he said, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. You know, and that statement there is going to the election, man. Because every one of us know by what we preach that we used to piss the Lord off, man.
That's right.
You know, when he go to saying one man owe me 50 and one man owe me 500, man, you know, a lot of us know what that means, man. You know, and you recognize that bill on your head. You recognize that you put that bill on the back of Yahweh Shai, and you don't be wanting to add another shekel to it, man.
That's right.
You know, but he said, only acknowledge thine iniquity.
Oh, that was Satan all the way.
Satan, man, the brother's on fire.
But yeah, it cut him off right out of it, man. Even the other brother
Yeah.
cut out, man.
Yeah, but this is the shit you got to deal with, man. One of our brothers was saying last week he was coming to camp, and he was on his way by Lakeshore, and he said he heard some applause, and he looked, and there's a bunch of naked faggots on bicycles having their annual naked bike ride, man, downtown.
See?
You know, talking about fucking old naked ass fucking men riding down Young Street, man, all the way downtown.
That's
You know,
disgusting, man.
so what about the kids? You know, you guys always worry about us yelling and cursing on the street, talking about over the kids. You know, the cops, they come up and they talk about there's children. What about the kids there, man? You know, what are you gonna tell your little kid? See some madness like that, man. You know.
Con.
And one of the brothers, the Bar Yasharali, posted a good scripture, Isaiah 3:9, to show of their countenance that witness against them, and they declare the sin of Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they rewarded, it's like if they have rewarded evil unto themselves. And it says to show their countenance, meaning like you were saying, right? They used to hide it, you know,
That's
and
right.
now it's just completely, it's in the media, it's in all these movies. All these movies, they got some weird ass jokes nowadays, man, like some disgusting ass crazy fucking jokes, you know,
Especially,
so-called humor.
hey, if you can read one more verse up, because this is specifically Jake. If you read one more verse up, and and I'll explain it after that. If you go to verse 8, read verse 8 to 9 one more time. But
This is Isaiah 3:8. It says, "For Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are full of his glory."
Con. And that's when you really see it, right? These Jakes are so far gone into Esau's ways, into homosexuality and transgenderism. Everything they say is completely disgusting. Like, and we're going to the Aqua saying, now they're saying it in jokes. They're saying it in the movies, but specifically Jake. The one thing I noticed when you see Jake movies specifically, they intensify that to like the outrageous. I was telling brothers in camp, man, there's a show. that I stumbled upon at Netflix. It's called Tiger and Rabbit, and it's a superhero, and the superhero is a Jake transgender homosexual main hero. Main hero. This is what they take it to the next extreme, man. Next extreme of like when it comes to Jake, they don't play. They make sure Jake goes off to 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 the most. Okay, and that's the spirit because I was holding that scripture too, that Isaiah 3:9.
I got a precept just to back up what we were talking about before about the miracles. This is Revelation 16 and 13. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. You know, and these unclean spirits, these unclean, or it's like when it says three unclean spirits like frogs, the frog is what? If when you go to Leviticus 11, that's an unclean animal. That's why it described John. John described these spirits like frogs. You know, it wasn't literal frogs because the Roman Catholic Church will have you believe it's fucking frogs coming out.
Yeah.
You know, John is
Con,
he's being metaphorical here, man. Parabolic, right?
con.
So I'm read again. It says, and I saw, hey, that was Satan, brother. If
Yeah,
you're still in the
con.
Yeah,
spirit,
yeah, man. I see demons.
yeah,
God. You know, they want to quench the word, but you know what the beauty of it is, man? You know, we done walked in this thing, right? And we seen men, you know, come from not knowing nothing, just like we did, to being out here soldiering for the Lord, man. Okay.
fun.
And this word goes forth, man. You know, and we don't stop talking, man. We don't stop being out here in these highways and byways or talking to people in person, all right, putting up videos. But understand, man, right? That the devil can't stop this,
That's right.
right? I'm in California, man. They're serious about to shut down, you know?
Con.
And these demons, they told me when I joined the first time and this last time that the call had already ended. And then they're gonna boot me out, man. You know? I'm gonna let another brother speak real quick because my connection is funny, man. Salaki.
Con.
Con. Well, I'll go back to Revelation 16 and 13. It says, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So again, John is describing these evil spirits like frogs because a frog is an unclean animal. Now these the dragon, the beast, the false prophets, the Roman Catholic Church, the beast, basically it's all this whole system, NATO, the EU, America, which it includes, right? Verse 14, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, right? Which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, man. Hey, them fucking Arabs, they're fighting tooth and nail. You know, Iran, I think there's a stat about America. They have 42 U.S. bases surrounding Iran, you
Con.
know?
Con.
So them other nations, which the Iranians are not Arabs, they're Elamites, but I'm talking about like even the Saudi Arabians and the Yemen, you know, that whole area. But a lot of them are fighting for them not to have all this shit that they see in America. You know, that's why when I gotta keep bringing up when America dropped the drone, they had a malfunction the drone, or I think it was shot down by the Iranians. America's like, oh, we want the drone back. You know, they captured the drone in foreign territory, and then the Iranians took it. They painted it pink, and they said, "Here, this is for your president. Take it back." You know, so what is that showing you? That's showing you they know the deal with America. You know, and real quick, I'm just gonna look up this word miracle, and some brother can expound on it, right? Because it said they cause miracles, and the word in the Greek.
Strong's G 4592, Semayon. Semayon.
Semayon, which means a sign, a mark, a token, that by which a person or a thing is distinguished from others and is known. It says a sign, a prodigy, example, an unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature. So one point, isn't a man changing into a so-called woman? Aren't you transcending the common course of nature?
I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. That in itself is a miracle because you have to look at time frames, right? At certain, especially in the ancient world, though you had men acting like women, it didn't get to the point where you would actually look at a woman and it's a man. A man
Right.
actually
Right.
like a full blown ass woman. That is in
Right.
itself unheard of. Completely changed in a way of nature that shouldn't even be right there. I saw a video. There's this guy
Adam,
who
fake breasts and carrying on,
I was just
you
about to
know?
say did surgery to look like Kim Kardashian. People think he looks like freaking Kim Kardashian. That's the most dangerous part I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like people don't know what they're looking at. All right, that's why this thing you have to be on a spiritual mindset. And what was also the other miracle that he brought in even before this, the atomic bomb that showed that show of force. Because before they dropped that, hey, no, every nation was not scared to go toe to toe with each other until that was like shit. That in itself was a sign like okay, we're not messing with America, man. That was the sign of America being the greatest nation on the earth because of that
That's why
one.
I think they made a pact or like a agreement. The acronym is MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction. You know, so they
Mhm.
basically saying that, you know, if Russia attacks America, America's gonna attack, you know, Russia with nuclear weapons, and then China's gonna jump in, and we're all just gonna be destroyed. You know, but
Con,
that's exactly what's coming. Because doesn't it say the nations are mad?
that's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
so guess what? Hey man, that mad shit is gonna happen.
That's right. And it ultimately is what yeah by Shamir Shai really sparking this thing up. All right. Um, I have a quick
There's
precept.
just one more scripture, one more
Oh
verse
yeah, go
actually.
ahead. Salakia, go ahead.
Yeah, Satan again, Satan. Um, Revelation 16 and 14, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world. Right? Again, like all these other nations, man. You know, that's why you got Esau up in what's that shit, the Polynesian islands, not the islands, but the Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan, all these places, and you have when you got a lot of Edomites that go down there, what happens, man? You start having the little boys becoming little girls and vice versa. And you have Esau going over there and popping these little kids, man, bugging them the hell out.
Con,
You know, when they showed that movie Hangover 2, you know, they kind of went into the wickedness, but they didn't fully go in there because really, man, they go down there to buy little boys and girls, man. You
con.
know, and that's a spirit they never had that before that shit, man. You know, China being communist, China was never. Communism is a European concept, man. That's a European doctrine.
That's
You
right.
know, North Korea being communist, that's the European doctrine, right?
That's why.
Slack it.
No, it's quickly. That's why it says in the scriptures in Deuteronomy that the doctrine is as poison, man, because everything they speak, man, it's just there to destroy your economy.
Con,
You know.
yeah, like Japan, back in the was it 17, 1800s, you had the opium wars where the Rothschilds they were pushing heroin, man. And it got so bad to the point where the Japanese, because a lot of their population were on drugs, the Japanese said they cut it off, and then the British basically they just brought in their gunboats, you know, and they forced them to sign a deal. I forget the name of the deal, but you can look it up, and basically allowed them to the free flow of opium. You know, I believe no, it was China, I believe, not Japan. But either way, those two countries they had empires. They had emperors actually, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember also going into the history in Japan, where you had the emperor and he had his warriors, the samurai. Those samurai I believe means servants, so those were all warriors that protected the emperor, the king, so to speak. But you had the Jesuits go up in Japan, and what did they do? They started fucking around, and it's the present day situation you have now. You know, the Japanese they want to be like Esau, and Chinese they want to be like Esau. They dress in business suits. They have to go into commerce and trade with all these devils and accept their ways, you know? And that's just another point of how they went to all the kings of the earth and the whole world, right? The last verse to gather them to the battle of that great day of the Most High Almighty. See? So what's that great day of the Most High Almighty? That's Armageddon.
That's right.
Armageddon, meaning the mountain of troops. That's what the word Armageddon means. It's not when you watch that movie. What was in the movie? The asteroids or the forget what the hell they made the
Independent.
movie about Armageddon.
Oh,
But it's not some
Independence.
asteroids or meteorites
Independence
coming. No, not Independent. They actually had Armageddon Day, I believe, a movie.
Oh
But
no, it's called
either way,
Armageddon. It's called
yeah,
Armageddon.
yeah,
Yeah,
Armageddon Day with Bruce Willis.
yeah.
You know, and yeah, basically it was like an asteroid coming to destroy the Earth or some shit and whatever. But yeah, man, that day is coming. That day is World War III, man. You know, it's approaching very quickly. It's gonna be. It actually locates it in the scriptures for you, man, around Saudi Arabia. You know, in the
Yeah.
book of matter of fact, I'll bring it out. You got a precept. You get it. believe it's in the book of Joel.
Is it Joel 3? Joel 3.
The book of Joel 3 and 2. My bad. 1 second.
I have a quick precept.
Con.
This is Revelation 16:15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, keep his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which is what the brother said. You know, right in that Middle East area, and you can clearly see it because if you're really watching the P's and Q's, there's no war in the West. All nations ain't warring in the West. You know what I mean? Like China ain't warring here in Canada and Russia and Africa. All of them are not warring in this specific area. Where they warring, man? In the land of judgment, which we know, as you see in the current event, is the Middle East around Arabia, right? Um, yeah, that was it on that verse.
Con. This is back in Joel 2 and verse 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things."
Mm,
Now that land that's barren and desolate is Saudi Arabia. That's where the Third World War is going to take place. You know that East Sea is pertaining to Euphrates, and the utmost is the Red Sea. You know, so that whole land you're looking at it, I believe it's the Sahara Desert around, or not the Sahara Desert. There's another name for that desert, but it's Saudi Arabia, which is the barren land.
that's right. I have something here. This is Zechariah 8 and 7 says, "Thus saith the Yahweh Shemeshai of hosts, Behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power in truth and in righteousness." But the main point was in 7, because this war is going to be spreading from the east all the way to the west, right? That's why he says, "I'm going to save my people from the east country and from the west," because when Yahushua comes, he's gonna start off at the east and make his rounds all the way to the west. All right, because these nations are gonna war with each other. And they're gonna see Yahushua come down on the chariots, and when they see Yahushua come down on the chariot, right, all the armies of the world are gonna turn and face the Messiah. That's why he said, "I saw his mouth bringing out fire," roughly paraphrasing. Let me see if I can get that scripture real quick. Um, this
There we go. Hey, Slack. And demons was trying to keep me out, man.
It's all good.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Con.
Okay. There you go. What? Quiet, child.
Okay, this is a I'll start at second Exodus 13, and I'll start at 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth falleth, Salakia, faileth when it feeleth the fire. And one of you brothers can break this down too. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it, which is the chariot, which is that great ship which they show you that in the movie Independence Day. You know when they
Huh.
have the so-called mothership, but it's really the fathership, and then all those other the small little chariots coming out. That's really what they're depicting. It's just, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. That comes to show you that all he needed to do was let the chariot go crazy on him. You know, he's in the chariot, and the chariot's blasting all these armies to smithereens. You
But
know?
also on that one, because the Lord said he was coming on a great mountain, right? And we all know that who we seek to be is Zion, right? You know what I'm saying, which is the mountain, the monument of the Lord. So understand, if you precept that with the Jeremiah 51 and 19, 51 and 20, while it says that the Lord was gonna come alone, man, you gotta understand, man, he's taking the Father's position, man. And he gonna hit who he want to, but he has his men act on his behalf. He said, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war." And if you go into the second Ezra 13, when he said he was standing on that chariot, letting loose that fire and that flame and that dust, you go further through that second Esdras and that wisdom of Solomon, and it tells you that that fire, right, was us speaking out on these devils and their iniquity, man. All right, that flame was the law being brought back to the earth because it burns everything down that's wicked, because it don't make no sense standing next to the law. And he said that he would open his mouth and we would go as sparks amongst the stubble. And then in Wisdom of Solomon, it shows you that that's talking about us, And the issue is, man, that the Lord is about to have all of his glory, man, his chariots, man, his rulership. He said, if this were my kingdom, then will my soldiers fight for me, and everything they was expecting to see from him, then they gonna see it, man, and Lord willing, we be among that number. We're gonna show it to him, man.
Con,
You know.
con. There's more on this. It says, but only I saw that he went out of his mouth that it had been a burst of fire, and from the midst of his breath, out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the class of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. And that is what you call a mixture, like almost a nuclear destruction. A nuclear destruction comes with a blast of fire, and then with a great tempest. It says, and it burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And I saw this, I was afraid. And that's what the ending result is. That's what we look for. Okay, we want this to happen yesterday.
Come, come,
So
come.
that's why you have to be on the watch, because it even says that I come at thief at night, and roughly paraphrasing, those are not on the watchmen that are naked, that don't have the garments on them, which is really the truth. You're gonna get caught, because it'll be easy to spot out who doesn't understand these scriptures, because in that day, it's either you're gonna know these chariots are for you, or you're gonna think that it's an alien invasion, like that guy in New York when they're playing ball. It's like, it's an alien, it's an alien. Like,
Come,
you're gonna have people being like that, man. I come to show you, those are the people that are naked, because they don't know that those are their brethren. You know.
come. And
So
you in that second Ezra 13?
yeah, I'm in second Ezra 13. Con.
If you could go to verse 35,
Yeah, con.
read down.
Yeah, this is Second Ezra 13 and 35. It says, "But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be shewed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands."
Okay, and Salaki, because sometimes I speak, and I'm speaking out of these scriptures and through the spirit, and it sounds sure, but like that's what I was referring to when he said Mount Zion. You know what I mean? Keep going on.
Says, "And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest." It says,
Mhm.
and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. Says,
Like in the fire. Gun,
uh, says,
gun,
and
and go ahead.
go ahead. Says,
Um,
and where, let me keep going.
no, hold that right there, and then I was gonna bring out this precept real quick, and then it said, and this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, because he went over that fire and that flame. And this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 6 so it can be identified, right? He said, "As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering." All right. And if you look at the Sirach chapter 2, he said that acceptable men would be tried as gold in the fire. Right. And then he says, "And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble." All right. And that's the sparks he was talking about. He just went over the fire and the flame and sparks. And here's the deal, right? I am in full agreement with the document. I mean, nobody wants to be against the Lord seeing him when he rises upon that chair, because you're gonna see some stuff come up out of that thing, you know.
God.
But as the Lord brought out that whole parable, he brought it all together. He put Jeremiah 51 and 19 in that. He put the Isaiah in that. Like, it's all gonna go down. And like I said, man, we find it hard to picture because nuclear fire is something devastating, man. But what the Lord got for these folks directly, man, they ain't been able to grave an image. They ain't been able to make a movie to really see what's about to happen to them, you
That's
know.
right. That's right.
And
I
he
think,
says, "And they shall judge the nation and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever." Man, you know. And here it is, the Father talking about his son. Okay. Once again, for all them OT dudes or whoever don't recognize and respect Yahweh Shai, man, you know what I'm saying? Here he is talking about his son again. Here he is talking about his righteous army, man.
that's right.
You know,
That's right.
and then this is that like a grain of sand gets in an oyster, right? And it turns into that pearl, man. When you got that seed of faith, man, these is them layers, man, that make you shine and make you thick and make you hard, man. When you get these scriptures on top of that, and he tells you what's going to be coming, man. And I can speak for me, and I believe the brothers present, man. Saying we be hoping for this, man. We waiting for this, man.
That's right.
It's like Yahweh Shai is waiting to get up and go. He gonna rise up with a shout, man.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
it's like you got it, out.
No, and you're right, because I think that's what terrifies the world the most. That what we're saying is so hardcore that if we know it's gonna happen, but to them, if it does happen, they're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point your technology ain't shit. What are you gonna do to celestial beings, man? Coming down with great wrath? Nothing, man. Nothing.
That's right.
And I think that's what makes us so strong, man. Because we're living in a world where all they can do is believe in carnality and anything that goes along with it. But we're that much stronger just on the faith, because what it says, having faith as a mustard seed can move mountains, man. And that's why when we
Right.
go out in the highways and byways every week, people shiver and they shake, man, and they tremble just at the fact of what we're saying. And that's not really us, as Yahweh Shemashai putting that power in that fire, like the brother said, behind us to burn these people up like stubble, man. Jeremiah 5 and 14. Okay, we burn you guys up like stubble, man.
That's right.
Hey, don't you ever get that? Even when you talk to your friends in the world, even if you just see them passing by and they know what you're on, they're not even trying to hold a conversation with you because they're scared that you might dip, you might dip into the truth with them,
Cut.
and they can't handle that. They're just like, "Oh, you good?" Da, 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 da. And you see they're awkward, man. When they used to be so cool with you, they're awkward with you because they don't want to be reproved. They don't want correction. They don't want to feel as if you're gonna come down with judgment. Hey, someone said that to me the other day. Hey, man, I'm gonna say this, but please don't judge me. And I told him that's my job.
Con. Come, and that's at Isaiah 30, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I got
saying
it.
to the seers, see not. And
Oh,
to the
con.
prophets, prophesy not unto his right things, speaking to his smooth things, prophesy deceits, man.
That's
You
right.
know, and beyond that, what Ak was saying, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the past, cause the Holy One of Israel, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, and his truth that comes in the volume of this book, man, to cease from before us, man.
That's right.
Okay? You know, because all they love is that left hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, man, don't, you know, I know you came through, man, but don't be coming out with that man, whatever, bro. But I will say this, man, you know, because he said it's the one thing we can glory in, man. It's good to be known for following the ways of the Lord, man. You be surprised, man. It's people that, you know what I'm saying, and some of them in my family that I would have counted as 2/3 of this and that and the other, right? But when I come around, man, ain't no pork cooking around nowhere. You be running up on you, hey, I stopped dealing with the birthdays and the Christmas. Like they want you to just, you know, and they know what I'm gonna do. The first thing I'm gonna do, like, well, hey, is you doing this? And hey, did you tell anybody? You know, and they're like, bro, you don't stop. No, we don't. You know?
Hey, what is it? All right, hey, because you said that, let me get the scripture real quick.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 62:1. It says, "For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake will I not rest until the righteousness go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burns." Going down to verse 6, it says, "I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
That's
Yet
right.
that make mention of Yahweh keep not silence." And that's why they hate us, man, because we don't keep silence day or night. Okay, and everybody that sees us doing videos, again, see us in hours and Bibles, see us on the streets, going to work, even people at work that knows what's up. They ain't even trying to mess with you, man, because they know that, yo, that dude has wisdom behind it. They see the shine off of you, man. It's a spiritual thing, all right? They see
Right.
Yahweh Shemeshah behind us men, man. And they know there's nothing that you can come to us or bring to us that we won't break down or tell you that it's foolishness. Okay?
That's
Because
right.
number one, this is what makes Yahweh Shemeshah beautiful. We've all been in those fake philosophies. So if you come to a brother that's been an expert in being a Rasta or being a Buddhist or being in Islam or being, going into Sumerian tablets or whatever it is, we already know that that's horse crap, right? But then on top of that, we have the truth to bury it, nail it in a coffin, and make sure it doesn't rise again. That you don't want to go toe to toe with somebody like that. That's like a person going toe to toe with a genius. You can't go toe to toe with a genius, man. Especially if you're not a person on his level, and that's the world. The world is not on the level of men that are actually seeking Yahweh Shemir Shai and his truth and his salvation. You know?
Huh.
And then
I
we
got a
have
precept.
yeah,
This is Hebrews 4:12. It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing sunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart."
it says it's a discerner. I'm gonna get that word. Hold on. Let me
Huh.
get that word discerner.
Huh.
4:12. Um, marrow. Um, sharper than two and
Hey, because this word is offending, man. Like a lot of people sometimes they even see the sign of Caesar Borgia, and then they
yeah.
start shaking bacon, man. You know, their knees get weak, they start yelling and screaming. You know, the
Huh.
demons start coming out. You know,
Uh, yeah, I have the word here. It's
Huh.
G2924. Let me play it.
Strong's G 2924. Kritikas.
It's critikas, and it means relating to judging, fit for judging, skilled in judging. See,
Mm-hmm.
so we're skilled. So when you're coming up here with all that craziness, man, Yahweh Shai will cut you down easy, and this is a discerner of the thoughts. So people go back home. You know, when you're on a highways and byways, or you're getting into it with somebody, they might talk that tough talk and act as if it doesn't hurt them. But when they go to sleep, man, they're all effed up, man. They're thinking about everything. Like, bro, this man really say that, like, I'm not receiving salvation. Like, a heathen, like, they're thinking about it. Like, am I really a Christian? Like, their whole world starts changing after that. because it's a spirit burning them, man. Jake going, am I, am I really wicked? Everything I believe, is it a lie? Especially Jake, man. 'Cause Jake has a conscience, so that affects Jake's a lot, man. You know.
Yeah,
Um.
well, yeah, because these guys talk shit about us too, man. They get high, and then they say, "Yo, let's put on those Israelite guys, those protesters," and then they
Yeah.
watch our videos. They watch the drama, the drama videos or whatever, the one where cops come up or someone, comes up, and they take it for a joke, but the joke's gonna be played on them, man. When them NATO troops start coming through your neighborhoods, man, and picking you off one by one, you know.
Uh,
It says, last verse 13, neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Fine. And he says that
And that's a big Salakia, and that's a real big, cut to y'all whole belief. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about you fucking Masons and you fucking go in the fucking temple, do your fucking nastiness and dirt and stank, okay? Because these people play around with breast milk and feces, they murder children, they have sex with men and do orgies, okay? Here it is, you got a woman, but you're gonna bring her to share with everybody else, just like a nigga in the street. But understand, man, the Lord sees all these things, man. Okay, there's no hiding from them, and that's their thing, man. That's their whole system. Like you be looking at it, right? If the way they control this media, right, to where things that happen in plain sight don't get reported, and the way that they try and hide their wickedness, even going down to that stuff they was reporting on CNN this week, right? They trying to piss off Jake to really kick something off with Trump having all these people at the border, right? But if you've been observing that situation, those holding centers that they talking about, man, they've been at capacity for 4 years, man. Okay, and that reaches back into Obama. Cause see, a dumb nigga is thinking that Obama was good for them and that Trump is bad, man. These is all demons, man. All right. And the bottom freaking line is that, you know what I'm saying, that the going way back to the Clintons in Haiti, kidnapping children for their purposes, man. Okay. That's what they doing to Issachar right now, man. And I'm calling them out, man, because I know these demons, man. Ak was talking about how they be going home to think about it, man. I get on the Facebook from once in a while, not like I used to, man. But it used to come a point in time where I tell the dude straight out on the chat, man, go back to the lodge, right? And send somebody back that's a higher rank or get you some more armament, man. Because you done ran out today. And they freeze up because they act like they don't know, man. Okay, we didn't get this nowhere, right? But from these scriptures through the spirit of Hawakwakadash, you know what I'm saying? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. We couldn't have got this if we didn't sit at the feet of our elders and those that learned otherwise. And they don't get this shit except from Malachi Z. York, how to come against a Hebrew Israelite, from all of these fake ass Pastor Grays and everybody else, okay? But you could tell, you see the insignia upon them, you know what I'm saying? You see that the marker of whatever tree it is that they sat under upon them, man. All right. But it's a weak tree, man. Can nothing contend against this truth, man.
It's a tree. It's a tree that's brewing different diverse fruits. You know, compared to the one that we have, because it's funny you said that, because now all of a sudden all of these different religions and groups are aiming at us. Why? Because we have the truth and we stand on one firm foundation. Whenever anyone else goes toe to toe with us, they have to jump from this philosophy to that philosophy, mix this philosophy, and we're sticking to the same point. We don't ever have to go outside the scripts, man. The scripture alone stands with us to go against all of you, man. And that comes to show you that the world, what that's proven in the scripture, but Yahweh said, the world shall hate thee for my name's sake. Everyone is against this truth. Every single person, man, your family members, your pastors, they're out here trying to make videos. And you know how long it takes them just to make one video to compete with one brother's video that we make in 5 minutes? They have to sit there for months. Oh, okay, he said this. I have to try to rebuttal that. What scripture make me sound good and make me sound straight? Like what's that guy? Steven Anderson, man, trying to prove points with no scripts, man, jumping from one verse to the next verse, not even knowing what they mean. This is what we're dealing with, man. People are trying to put stuff in their own hands, not knowing who they facing. You ain't facing us. You're facing Yahweh Shem Yahshai. We're just the messengers.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah,
And I
you
brought
know,
up a good point right there because the spirit that's in this world right now, amongst all these heathen churches, all these worthless churches, and understand under political correctness, right? And here I am in California, the place that ban hate speech, right? But understand, man, I don't have no peace with these fake ass religions, man. I fucking hate you people. You're an affront to the Lord, and the Lord is gonna come and destroy you, right?
That's right.
And yes, that's hate speech. According to your laws, I'm free to do that. Okay, but understand that's where they've been in it too. Okay, but the bottom line is, and this is the scripture, like I said, we always go back to it, and we got a clear cut, right? Red letter for all them fake ass Christians. Okay, but this is Luke 12:51. He says, "Suppose ye that I have come to give peace on earth." Okay, he said, "Suppose ye that I wanted you to have peace with a fucking Muslim." Hold on. He said, "He that would not that would, I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me." That doesn't jibe together with peace with a Muslim. That don't jibe together with peace with a Hindu. That don't jibe together with, oh, I'm supporting the gay parade. I'm just not gay. No, all right. I'm with the scriptures, and the scriptures say that y'all supposed to be put to death.
That's
Right? And even under grace, man, I rejoice in the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that y'all got hepatitis and herpes and syphilis and every damn thing else. Okay. I was looking back at a situation earlier today through the spirit because you got to put them goggles on, man. All right. Them frontlets between your eyes. And I remember, right, when my wicked ass sister, right, cheated on her husband. Okay. And he had slept with another broad that didn't tell him that she was married. And lo and behold, my sister ended up with a venereal disease, right? Because she was committing adultery. And this broad ended up with a venereal disease because she was committing adultery. But according to Esau's law, oh, he was just a carrier, right? Somehow the Lord passed over him. But guess what? A man can have more than one woman. And guess what? If he didn't know he was committing adultery, that's the pass.
Yeah,
You know?
That's right.
All right. Because it ain't about bacteria and this and that and the other. When I say that, I know some brothers have seen it under microscopes or you know it to be real to a point. What I'm saying is that we don't understand it. And all of our understanding bases in the scriptures. So why is it that staphylococcus is everywhere, but a staph infection will kill a certain person? Because the Lord decides who lives and dies, man.
That's right.
You know, and it's based upon his morality, you know?
And that's very spiritual, and that's what shows you that Esau really took out the truth out of the world because he doesn't want you to understand that the diseases that you're actually getting is actual curses. They're actual curses that's being upon you. That's why you said we can. Why is it that when we sleep with multiple women, right, that don't have men, we're fine. We can actually know and lo and behold and know that we're okay because we follow. Okay, we slept with this woman. We take a shower over the night, whatever the case may be. Blah 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 blah. But you dudes out there that are sleeping with other men, women, bro. Then when you start getting all these STDs and stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, did this and you did it. Nah, man, it's because you're breaking the laws, man. These
That's
women
right.
out there, you guys get so much disease because what? You're breaking the laws. You think sleeping with multiple men is okay. That's why you guys ultimately get more disease than the men, because you guys have to be with one dude, man.
Right. And that's the issue. Because in this place, they want to make everything equal, right? So here it is. I'm supposed to be equal with a heathen, right? You can't run as fast as me. You can't cross over nothing. You can't make this layup. You can't make the jump shot. You can't do the math problem. Okay. You couldn't make up no music to save your life. You can't dance when the music is made. All right. And you don't know well enough to leave another man's wife alone, but I'm your equal. No, I'm not, man.
That's right.
Okay. And the Bible said that, you know, and that's why these demons want to get rid of these Bibles, man. But the bottom line, man, you know, is that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, hid his face. And he's about to make a big showing on you people, man. And he gave us that righteous preview, man. You know, he lets back into his glory, man. So like, if you can get that Jeremiah 17:4.
Yeah, come on.
All right, and I'm gonna try and pull another precept right now, but you know what I'm saying. But the bottom line being is that, man, we knew this glory, you know what I'm saying, and they knew us, and they hid it from us, and our heritage was took, man. But they still knew who we are, man, and they've been hating on us, trying to debilitate us. Here it is. The Octon brought out the great scripture about these frogs coming out this dragon's mouth, right? But here it is, Moab and Ammon want to act like they blessed or like they can be in a Christian church or like they gonna be safe on this earth, man. But here it is, y'all eat frogs while they alive. Okay?
Come on.
You know, made it popular. Jay wasn't eating no goddamn octopus, man.
You know, I seen a little Jake eat some fucking squid. What was it, like 8 months ago? You remember? We were sitting there at Mikasa. Yeah, Salaki. My daughter's over there. Me Pueblo. Okay, don't correct me no more. Salaki. She witnessed true. But the bottom line being is the little Jake was sitting in front of me, right? Eating it, you know? And his mother was there. And his mother believes that she can control things, right? So understand, man, the Lord will tell you, you know what I'm saying, to be circumspect. The Lord will tell you to walk with judgment, right? Because I was provoked right then, man. All right. It was disgusting my soul, man. But understand, man, I'm at a point now where don't neither one of them eat that shit in front of me and he won't eat it at all. You know? And that's just what they get to. You know what I mean? Because these demons, man, they have proliferated and they feel like that they have that dominion. But if you ever notice with their dominion, they always feel super nervous. They still don't want to show themselves to you. They're always waiting for things to fall, man, because that's in their spirits. They know that this shit that they doing can't continue, man. You know? So like you got that precept?
Yeah, Jeremiah 17:4. Thou that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemy in the land which thou knowest not. Have kindled a fire in my anger, it shall burn forever.
And you got that breakdown, huh?
Come because of what? When we were going into slavery, man, Yabashim stripped her, and actually it even started before that. You know, the Hellenization, you know, of the Israel, you know, through Alexander and going on down. You know, and then the 4 generals, man, we totally lost who we were. We were completely gone. That's why Yahushua had to come to the Gentiles. Because imagine, for 400 or 500 years plus, you know, with no identity of self, you're walking around believing that you're a Greek the whole time, as modern day Americans, modern day Canadians, modern day Jamaicans, right? They don't see or line themselves up as being Israel. Why? It was never taught. It was never brought into the school systems. It was never passed down through the parents. And ultimately, why? Because we angered Yabashim Shah. Even certain Israelites that know that the Israelites still defy Yahweh Shamir Shai to this day, with lineups and all those type of views, doing their own thing, and they know they're Israel. That's one of the main reasons he had to strip the name from us, because even though we knew us as Israel, we're doing abominable works. We still wanted to follow the heathens, knowing the name. Okay.
Con, and I'm gonna read Psalms 119 and 111, right? It says, and this is David speaking, our king, who we supposed to be at one mind with, because he was one mind with our Lord. He says, thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart, man. You know? So here it is, these people here, what we got to say about the multiple women, or about putting the homosexuals to death, about the dietary law, man. We rejoice in these things, man. We see the life in these things, man. All right. You know, his testimonies, man. All right. What the Lord told us, man, that's our heritage, you know, centrally, you know, and so they be like, what you heard it out because you've been on them byways. Wait. I don't want to hear what that say. I want to hear what you think.
Yeah. All the time, man. That's a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but if your father was a king and your grandfather was the emperor of all, right? You know what I'm saying? What would you be doing that deviates from them? You know? But here it is. Our Father, you know what I'm saying, is the Lord, and our Heavenly Father is the only power. And yet we supposed to deviate from him. It don't work that way, you know? And because they can't walk in them shoes, they want us to step out of them. Because them shoes, you know, like they old little, what do they call it? Their mythology or whatnot. And like the shoes with the wings on them, okay? These ways, these steps, okay? Bring glory upon people, man. He said that his law was a glory upon us, and our testimony of his law was our glory. You know?
That's right. If anyone has one more scripture, we can end it with that.
No.
That was it? All right, so with that, we're gonna end this.
Oh, Salaki, I got one more, all right? Salaki.
Okay.
And this is Isaiah 54 and 17. And this is because, man, we coming into a time, man, where these people finna be shooting at us, man. You know, and when he say faith could move a mountain, man, you know what I'm saying? That means that if you hold tight to your faith, right? You know what I'm saying? And you push what the Lord is saying, you know what I'm saying? He will cause that multiple effect to bring down this great government, man. Right? But he said, no weapon, Salaki, Isaiah 54 and 17, he said, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. All right. You know, and that's why we stand boldly, man. That's why if it comes down to, oh, am I going to compromise about a heathen, or am I going to stand in danger, or so-called danger, right? You know, for the Lord, man. All right. But he said, nor weapon formed against me shall prosper. Weapons are not designed to hurt. They're designed to kill, man. All right. And we might get sliced up, man, you know, and in this mortal flesh, right, where we've been dead for thousands of years, some of us have been written that they're going to go down, man. But understand, man, we know we are eternal beings, man. We are the sons of the living power, man. All right. And the bottom line is, man, you can't do nothing but make a temporary exit for a brother. All right. Because we all gonna be here in that day when the Lord open up his mouth and them sparks run to and fro like stubble. Okay. When we run in a line and we won't break ranks, man. When y'all won't try and thrust us through, you shooting brothers with missiles and they coming out to smoke. Oh, nigga, I'm tear you up. Okay. All right. And that's a glorious thing, man. You know, and for that we give praises, man.
That's right. That's right. That's your
Yeah,
pause.
bro.
So with that, if nobody else has anything, you know, Adoram Ratazad is edifying. Again, Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yerushai, Ba'ashem HaRakakodash. Again, the honors the Apostle Great Millstone, who rule and teach well, and the hopeful elect of the house of David. All right, Kwame Yasharala.
Nasrallah.
And Mawathala Baba. Shalom.
That's right.
Goodbye.
Good. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.